Hi everyone, Mike Stuchiner, Master Herbalist here. And it's been a while since I've done a video for my YouTube channel, A Master Herbalist Perspective. And today's video is going to be about the topic of adaptogenic herbs and to answer the question, how do adaptogenic herbs actually work? But before I get started, I do need to give my health disclaimer. The information you're about to receive is for educational purposes only and is not intended to treat, prescribe, or diagnose any specific or general medical condition and is not intended to be a replacement for your primary healthcare provider's information, diagnosis, or treatment protocol. With that said, let's begin. The topic of adaptogens has been a big one for quite some time, and I've written many articles for several different websites, one of them being znaturalfoods.com, regarding all different aspects of adaptogenic herbs. And one of my biggest pet peeves, if you've watched any of my previous videos, is the idea that I think that people grossly miscategorize herbs, and the term adaptogen or adaptogens have been given to herbs that really haven't, shall we say, earned the right or haven't fulfilled the criteria to be considered what are known as real adaptogens or true adaptogens. So, adaptogens are defined as herbs that are classified as management and supportive herbs and fungi because the benefits are widespread through non-specific physiological responses. What makes all adaptogens unique is their ability to adapt to the harsh conditions in which they're grown in. This adaptability allows them to thrive and become more robust plants. As the research on adaptogens has been compiled over the years, herbalists and scientists have learned and concluded how each adaptogen's energy, whether it's warming, cooling, drying, or moistening, and the constituent balance found in each individual adaptogen, has allowed them to be used in a more specific targeted approach. Harvard aging expert Dr. David Sinclair talks a little bit about, in his anti-aging protocol, he believes in the importance of eating foods that he calls or describes plants as being stressed out plants because science has proven that highly stressed out plants will produce more defense mechanism compounds that have been proven to be beneficial to human health, like for example polyphenols or all the polyphenolic compounds just in general. So in simple terms, the use and function of adaptogenic herbs may support the body's ability to have an overall healthy stress response. Plants and fungi are often categorized based on their functional qualities. Unfortunately, many plants and fungi are called adaptogens even though they don't really fulfill the criteria, which is kind of what I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Therefore, it's really essential that I discuss and that you understand the requirements for how an adaptogen is defined and how it works. The following are primary points that describe what a plant or fungi must do to be considered a real or true adaptogen. 1, be non-toxic at clinical doses. 2, increase the resistance of the hormonal and immune systems to all kinds of stressors through a non-specific physiological response. And 3, normalize body function no matter how external stressors attempt to or have altered them. Many herbs not classified as true adaptogens can, on some level, fulfill the above criteria. For example, maca root and holy basil leaf are not true adaptogens, but fulfill many of the aspects of the adaptogen criteria. Therefore, they would be more than likely categorized as what many herbalists would consider possible adaptogens, or plants with strong adaptogen-like qualities. So, how do adaptogens actually work? Well, what we have learned is that the essential factors that make a plant an actual adaptogen is that it must work through one or both, I should say, of the body's master control systems. Either the HPA axis, which is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which is a complex system of neuroendocrine pathways and feedback loops that maintain and support homeostasis in response to chronic stress. The HPA axis interfaces the endocrine, nervous, immune, digestive, reproduction, and cardiovascular systems. The other master control system is known as the SAS, sympathico-adrenal system, or your AKA fight or flight system. It's a complex system that connects the sympathetic nervous system to the adrenal medulla. In simple terms, it's our fight and flight response. A triggered response floods our system with adrenaline and releases hormones like epinephrine and norepinephrine from the adrenal medulla. This response increases blood pressure, blood sugar, heart rate, and suppresses digestion. This releasing of hormones and redistribution of blood allows your mind and your body to respond more appropriately to a potential threat and respond and survive that potential threat. In the early 2000s, we learned through preliminary animal and in vivo research that adaptogens also work on a more cellular level. It seems that adaptogens may support the upregulation of what are known as molecular chaperones, like heat shock proteins. Molecular chaperones are any proteins that interact with, stabilize, or help another protein to maintain its structure. They are known for their role in protein maturation, refolding, and degradation. Heat shock proteins are upregulated in the presence of what are known as stressful stimuli. The body is signaled that stress is coming. So to prepare, it increases the production of these remarkable compounds, which inhibit addiction, reduce pain, prevent protein misfolding, and increase neuroplasticity, just to name a few. Stress also increases the production of stress hormone like cortisol. Human research has shown that adaptogens may also support healthy cortisol levels and prevent the elevation of cortisol produced by what is known as mitochondrial dysfunction. In the end, there are actually only what are known as 9 true adaptogens. Asian ginseng, American ginseng, ashwagandha, eleuthero, schisandra, rhodiola, shilajit, cordyceps, and rapaticum. Now, to separate this even further, or to clarify this even further, I should say, there are two categories of adaptogens. There are what is known as calming adaptogens, and there are more stimulating adaptogens. It's essential to note that adaptogens do not subscribe to a one-size-fits-all concept. If you require the use of adaptogens, looking at the individual and not the condition is extremely critical. Not every adaptogen is suitable for everyone. Like all other plant medicines, individual adaptogens have their unique qualities. They can be nourishing, warming, cooling, stimulating, calming, moistening, and drying in nature. Depending on the species and where they are grown can also affect the overall results. And looking at individuals' personality traits is exceptionally vital when choosing the correct adaptogen. For example, stimulating adaptogens may be a good choice if you lack mental and physical stamina. Red ginseng and rhodiola are by far the most stimulating adaptogens, but they actually work very differently. Red ginseng is warming, but extremely nourishing. The nourishing quality helps balance the stimulating quality of red ginseng. Rhodiola is not nourishing at all, and it's very invigorating and slightly drying. Therefore, as an individual entity, rhodiola may not be the best choice for people who get easily overstimulated or suffer from drying conditions, or what traditional Chinese may also describe as a yin deficiency. It's important to also note that while Siberian ginseng seems to exacerbate those drying and overstimulating characteristics, Tibetan ginseng does not. Therefore, the devil really is in the details, and you really do need to look at where that herb has been grown and what species of herb it is. Calming adaptogens, on the other hand, support a sense of calm and are for those people who need support due to a high-stress lifestyle. Calming adaptogens are primarily, but not exclusively, used for those who need to rebuild vital energy, but are not necessarily, we'll say, low on vital energy. These are people where their tank is slightly getting to the point where they need to continue to keep those levels, at a reasonable amount, we'll call it, okay? The effects of these adaptogens build over time. Ashwagandha is a perfect example of a calming adaptogen, and so is the herb Sasandra. Sasandra is another amazingly wonderful calming adaptogen and is considered one of the best, we're referring to ashwagandha here, is considered one of the best tonic herbs in traditional Ayurvedic medicine. When ashwagandha is also combined with herbs like black cohosh and kava root, it acts as an antispasmodic. And according to traditional Chinese medicine principles, ashwagandha is warming and is a yang tonic with a particular affinity for the kidneys. It also has what Chinese medicine calls Shen qualities due to its ability to calm the mind. Because TCM does recognize ashwagandha for its protective qualities, it is also considered a qi tonifying herb, which supports defensive qi. Finally, let's talk about a few misconceptions about adaptogens, okay? One of the greatest misconceptions in herbal medicine in general, and especially regarding adaptogens, is our unrealistic expectations regarding what we should feel when using an herb for an extended period of time. This misconception happens because many people believe that all herbs, regardless of category or the plant parts used when producing the product, will give similar effects. For example, an herb that's considered medicinal is often used for a specific period of time, and based on their mechanisms of action, there are no particular benefits for using them long term. Therefore, when the desired effects are achieved, it's unnecessary to continue using it. Then there are what I like to call gateway herbs or herbal formulas that have very noticeable effects in a short period, like, for example, the herb kava, okay? They can either be used as needed or in the long term to support and nourish a specific system, like the brain, the heart, or the nervous system. On the other hand, adaptogens produce what are known as nonspecific responses and are commonly used for extended periods of time. With adaptogens, it is not uncommon to see favorable responses, specifically an increase in energy and stamina after a reasonable period of time. What is often misunderstood is believing that the progression you saw at the beginning continues to work in a linear manner. Because adaptogens support the ability to sustain a balanced state of well-being, once your body gets to that point, its job is then to maintain it. This overall better feeling of well-being is now going to be your new normal. We use adaptogens for an extended period of time to maintain those new levels of well-being. Therefore, expecting to continue seeing those initial responses in a linear progressive way is very misguided. The other misconception that's quite well known is how specific herb or herb categories develop a reputation regarding their relationship to a particular condition specific to one gender based on what I consider to be misunderstood results from research. It's not uncommon to read a study about how one specific herb raised testosterone or balanced estrogen levels, drawing conclusions about these herbs or these results without taking a closer look to how that result actually occurred. Ashwagandha is a great example of this because it's often spoken about regarding its ability to raise testosterone levels. While this is true in a general sense, here are two things that you only hear about if you've read the research. First, the term boost is often used when describing the effect ashwagandha has on testosterone levels. This often gives the impression that it will bring your levels through the roof. And the truth is that what it does is it helps people who have low testosterone levels get back to normal, healthy ranges. For example, generally speaking, if you have a testosterone level of 200 and the average level for your age group is around 600, don't expect that ashwagandha will bring your levels up to 900. Studies have shown that through various mechanisms of action, ashwagandha may support the body's ability to reestablish and maintain healthy testosterone levels through supporting healthy stress response levels by inhibiting cortisol release, supporting healthy DHEA levels, which converts estrogen into testosterone, and supporting oxidative stress levels, which may decrease sperm count and cause DNA damage to sperm. So, in a nutshell, when you put all this together, the end result is that adaptogens are probably one of the most well-researched, well-respected, and time-tested proven categories of herbs around the world. One of, not the only. I want to make that clear. There are lots of great categories of herbs that have been tested, that have been proven by research. And their ability to support and optimize longevity and well-being through the support of non-specific physiological responses. If used appropriately, adaptogens can be the modern day savior and allow us to live happier and healthier lives. With all we know, there is still much that we need to learn about these robust plants. This is Mike Stuchiner, Master Herbalist. I'll see you next time.